Have you ever felt that life can flip upside down in just a heartbeat? One moment, you are surrounded by everything you love. The morning sun warms your skin, laughter fills your ears, and the world feels safe. And then suddenly, everything you've ever known is gone. No home, no family, no warm hug waiting at the door. You stand there frozen, and the world just keeps moving. This is the story of a little girl named Sara Crewe. She was once called the Little Princess because life treated her like one. But her story was never about crowns or castles. It was about losing everything and still holding on to hope when the world turned its back. So, I want to take you back to the beginning, to a faraway land filled with color and light, where a little girl's life felt like a fairy tale, before everything changed. Mashallah, Sarah was born in India, a land where the skies blaze orange at sunset and the air was thick with the scent of spice and jasmine. The world there felt alive, almost magical. You could hear the call of street vendors in the busy markets, children laughing as they ran barefoot through the narrow lanes, and the distant sound of temple bells ringing as evening fell. Sarah's home was large and beautiful, but it wasn't just the walls and the gardens that made it special. It was the people who filled it with life. Her father, she called him Papa. He was everything to her. The way his arms wrapped around her when she was sad, the way his laughter filled the room. He made Sarah feel like the most loved little girl in the entire world. He gave her so much: elegant dresses shown just for her, dolls from faraway countries, horses with soft brown eyes she could ride through the fields. But Sarah wasn't spoiled. She didn't look down on others. She would often sit with the household staff listening to their stories. She would share her sweets with the younger servants and ask the older ones about their families. She wanted to understand them. She wanted to know their lives, and they loved her for that. But her father believed she needed something more. He wanted her to receive the best education possible, even if it meant sending her far, far away. The moment Sarah stepped off the ship in London, the air felt different. It was colder, heavier. She missed the warm breezes of India instantly. The city was busy and grey. Tall buildings crowded the streets. Carriages clattered loudly over cobblestones. Sarah clutched her small bag tightly, trying not to feel overwhelmed. Miss Minchin, the headmistress, was waiting at the door. She smiled at Sarah, but it wasn't the kind of smile that made you feel safe. It was sharp, calculated. It was the smile of someone who saw money, not a little girl. But Sarah didn't notice. She was just a child. She was shown to the most luxurious room in the entire school. Her father had filled it with books, dolls, and beautiful gifts, so she would never feel lonely. The day of Sarah's birthday was supposed to be the happiest day of the year. The entire school was buzzing with excitement. The kitchen smelled like sweet sugar and warm bread as the cooks prepared a cake. Ribbons hung from the walls. The girls whispered about the presents Sarah would receive. Miss Minchin, she pretended to be pleased, but in truth, she was thinking only of Sarah's father and his money. And then, during the party, the doors opened. A man walked in holding a letter. Miss Minchin took it and read it silently, her face drained of color. She looked at Sara and said, "Sara, your father has died." The words hit Sara like a physical blow. Her breath caught in her chest. But Miss Minchin wasn't finished. She told her that her father had lost everything in a failed business deal. Every penny was gone. Sara's world shattered. Her mind went blank. Miss Minchin's kindness vanished in an instant. She stripped Sara of her room, her clothes, her toys, everything. And then she gave her new instructions. Sara was no longer a student. She was now a servant. A servant in the very same school where she had once been treated like a princess. Sara's life changed overnight. She woke up before the sun and worked long into the evening. She scrubbed floors until her fingers were raw. She carried heavy buckets of coal up and down the stairs until her arms shook with exhaustion. She was cold, she was hungry, she was tired. The same girls who once asked her to play with them now looked down on her. Some pitied her, others were cruel. Her bed was a pile of thin blankets in a tiny freezing attic. When it rained, the roof leaked. Some nights, she lay awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if she would ever feel warm again. But Sara, she never lost her kindness. She never gave into anger or hate. Every night, she would whisper to herself, "I may be a servant now, but in my heart, I will always be a princess." She still had Becky. Their friendship grew even stronger. They shared scraps of bread and moments of laughter. And Sara told Becky stories, beautiful stories about magical kingdoms and queens who rose from nothing. Those stories kept them both alive. But fate had not abandoned Sara. One day, one of her father's closest friends discovered the truth. Her father had not been bankrupt at all. There had been a terrible mistake. When this man learned what Sara had endured, he came straight to the school. He took her from that cold attic. He wrapped her in a warm blanket. He gave her food, love, and safety. And he returned her rightful inheritance. Sara returned to a life of comfort. But she was no longer the same little girl who had arrived at Miss Minchin's school. She had endured pain, hunger, and humiliation. But she had discovered something powerful: her strength. Sara's story is more than a sad tale. It is a reminder that life can take everything from us, but it can never take away who we truly are inside. Money doesn't last forever, but kindness does. And hope can change everything. So if you are going through a difficult time right now, remember Sara's story. Your life can change too. And sometimes, all it takes is a single moment.